Good evening, everyone. It is a Wednesday night. We're chilling here at SWC Poker. We are about to play the ginormous two-chip fish fry tournament in a half an hour.
Hey.
I'm sitting here with this is Glitch. I have my friends Bonksman Bonksley and Kiss a Pig.
I do.
And tonight we're gonna chat with our buddy Lethal. What's up, Lethal?
What's going on?
Just a reminder to everyone that there is a bounty on all four of us in the Clubhouse tournament tonight.
I saw
Lucky
Ant too, I think.
Bust any of us or bust Lucky Ant too, and you will win your buy-in back and a lookup. A free lookup at sealsclubhouse.com to look up anyone else's tournament results.
Yay. Come get my bounty.
Damn, I was away. I was hoping I wouldn't get a bounty.
Does make it tougher to play. Does do that.
So, Lethal, how are you?
Good, man. I just woke up from a nap and I'm ready to win this.
Yeah, I took a pizza nap because I ate a full pizza before. What was your nap attributed to?
My nap was attributed to pure laziness. That's why. It's my day off, you know. I got up early, pokering since like 10 this morning. So,
all right. So this week we have been talking, and I had noticed for the longest time in the SWC chat that you have been mentioning the writing of a book on Big O, or 5-card Omaha, or Big O High Low. It's both, right? You're doing both?
yes, I'm writing the book about high, low, high, all variations, mostly just Big O in general. But there's a little no limit hold'em knowledge. There is some Parliament Omaha knowledge in there, but it's mostly going to be like Big O strategy. High, low in focus, but high also. Obviously, you can apply it all to every game.
All right. So, funnily, I thought you were just kind of joking. I didn't think this was a serious thing.
Everyone thought I was lying. Everyone thought I was just kidding, but like I'm actually writing a book about it. Like legit, I'm writing a book.
And you told me how you're going about it, and I thought it was really interesting because I kind of like study publishing and communication and stuff like that, and I read a lot, and just go through the process of how you're getting this published, and I think that'll reveal why it's such a good idea, because I loved it.
Yeah, I'm going to do self-publishing online. Amazon has this site called CreateSpace, and they allow you to publish your ebooks and stuff like that online, and then they give you a percentage of the sales. So basically, they're gonna make a cut, obviously, but it's a free online publishing, and that way you don't have to worry about finding a publisher and actual printing of copies. It's all ebooks. So the entry cost of this is going to be really low. There's not really much investment. And then the sale price is obviously really low. So it makes it easy for people to purchase. I mean, even if it's like not a topic they really want to read about, it's like $1. So regardless, it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm like going to a printing company and like, I'm going to publish 10,000 copies. No, I'm just doing ebook. A lot easier, a lot more simple. Plus, I figured we're doing Bitcoin. People are going to probably buy it in Bitcoin anyway. So, but yeah, I'm doing CreateSpace, Amazon. They allow you to self-publish ebooks. And I'm writing it in just like a regular word processing program, nothing special. The program I use is called like OpenOffice. It's like an open source writing software. It looks like Microsoft Word basically, but it's free. Yeah, it's free online.
Self-publishing for free. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I got the software for free too.
How far along are you?
Right now, I'm on chapter 20, and I'm probably going to do like 25 chapters or 30 chapters and finish it up. But I don't want to make it too long. I don't want to make it boring. It's going to be exciting, It's not a boring book.
Do you get to put images into it?
And you can, but I don't know how what's going to work in the formatting. I was thinking of either doing like actual photos or just doing some like pictorial representations. Throwing in some graphics. But the front cover is definitely going to have graphics. Does do told me I should put some hot chicks on the cover, so they'll sell more copies.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
That is a fact. Yeah.
No, I won't bring that up yet. But when it comes to Big O, what is your better game, the high-low or the high-only version?
Well, it depends on if Does Do is playing or not. It really depends. I'm just kidding. No, so Does Do normally plays like high-low, and he got me on this kick where the high-low, with the high-low game. And it's just so much fun. I like to play that one. But since you guys have been playing more of just the Big O high, as they call it, 5-card PLO, I've actually started to like that more. There's less chop pots, and when you have it, you have it. You don't have to worry about getting scooped for half the pot on a low when you have the absolute nut flush. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
Big O high is actually probably more like plus EV to play, probably a better, like more profitable game. But as far as action goes and fun, like I like the high-low version because it's so screwy. You know what I mean? You could have like a 3-4 and chop half the pot.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first came to the 5-card Omaha, I only played Big O, the high-low version. But you guys like Bonks have like got me interested in the high only now.
If you're playing to make a profit, you should be playing Big O high only. High-low is more for just fun. People that just want to play, they're going to play high-low.
Here's the thing, though. But I feel like I'm good at high-low, but I feel like I suck at the high version. So I might be reading your book.
Patient. So you got to be really patient at that game. You can't play any cards that you play in Hold'em normally. You can't be playing your king high flushes or your queen high flushes.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying, like, Big O high is you really have to only be playing the nuts. It's a game of the nuts, is what they call it. Just like Pot Limit Omaha. You really cannot be playing second and third nut flushes like they're good because you will get stacked like every time against the nut flush. I mean, sure, you'll win some pots with a king high or queen high flush, but the odds of someone else having a better flush is very, very likely. And a lot of people will make the mistake of playing it like it's Hold'em. They're like, well, I had a jack high flush. Of course I shoved. Well, you're going to get stacked against the king high or ace high like every single time in that spot. So it's not worth shoving with the second or third nuts. And a lot of people don't really get that,
And usually it's a flush that wins almost every hand. At least for more.
Pretty much. Yeah, everyone's going to have the nuts every hand. I mean, you just have to wait for your nuts, Wait for the ace high flush. Wait for the boats. Don't call light on these smaller flushes, otherwise you're going to really regret it.
So I have been getting my ass kicked by the ultra aggressive players. They're just beating me senseless. I have never had to deposit onto this site until this year, and it's not intuitive to me. It doesn't make sense because it seems like it's something I could sit back and wait for to counteract the super aggressiveness, but it's not working. Do you have any insight as to why that is? Am I running bad? Is that just the possibility, or do I
people
really
are playing
suck?
hyper? They're just playing hyper aggressive and hitting against you. Is what you're saying?
It's like a front-loaded hyper aggressiveness where it's pre-flop and flop betting that just drives me away. If I can get it to the river, I'm usually making the right decisions there and winning the fair amount of pots, but I'm not getting it there.
Noticed is that a lot of people here, they will call like massive 3 bets and 4 bets pre-flop with terrible starting hands, just hoping to flop something. So a lot of these players, like the worst players, will call any amount pre-flop, but they're just hoping to bank the flop. Like say someone calls the flop with like all low cards, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know what I mean? Like all garbage. They're hoping just for like a low flop so they can hit 2-pair or the open-ended straight draw and just get you all in. Like a player, a lot of the players I've been playing lately have been playing really, really reckless pre-flop, just hoping to bink the flop because
you kind of picked a poor example because like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's actually that's a good hand shape to have. It's
love that hand.
It's too low. It's a little too low. You'd prefer it to be like 7, 8, 9, 10 jack or something like that. But that's actually not a bad shape. If you want to pick an example like of something that people play trying to make a flop, I think you could go with something like king, queen, 2, 3, 10 or something like that, where just not all the cards work with each other, but you can hit. It's really easy to hit like 3-pair and overvalue it or something like that.
People are just hoping you're gonna just continuation bet with Steam and barrel with aces and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They really are just hoping you don't play your hand based on the board texture. They're just hoping you're playing your pocket cards, and that's what a lot of people do is that they know that in your hand you're usually gonna bet out huge and c bet, so they will call with any range, hoping to catch you when the flop matches their range. So like a lot of these higher stakes players, they'll call like 5 bets and shit with garbage hands, with like not even a pair. And they're like, well, I was double suited, but their hands are so minimal, but they're calling these huge like pre-flop ranges. And you can't really put them on a hand at that point. You know what I mean? Because they literally could have any 5 cards there. So what I've noticed is like try and keep your pot control together. Always remember, in Big O, pot control is the most important thing. Like other than anything else, pot control is the most important part. You always have to maintain pot control. So don't get too greedy pre-flop with these huge raises. Don't get like super excited when you get pocket aces, because if you raise, you will get everyone calling you with any 5 cards. You know what I mean? That's just how people play this game. They love to gamble pre-flop. So you have to be aware of that. Like if you're going to raise huge with this game, you better flop the freaking nuts. You better flop the world, a complete straight draw or flush draw or something, a wrap. You better flop it. Because if you don't, then you better guarantee someone else has a piece of that,
Well, what I'm getting beat by is calling these big pre-flop raises with good hands not hitting, and then having them continue their bets regardless, and forcing me to have to go with I have no idea if they hit or not.
In this game,
I'm folding a lot.
Yeah. In this game, they just likely hit a lot, and that's just that's how it goes. You got 5 cards. You're starting with like 1/8 of the deck almost, or 1/7 of the deck to begin. It's crazy. So like, the variance in this game is enormous. You always have to have way more buy-ins than you would think you would need. I don't even have enough buy-ins to be playing a lot of times. I just that's why it just sucks.
Yeah.
But you should have 40 to 50 buy-ins at all times. You should have 40 to 50 buy-ins at all times.
What happens with me is if I accumulate a stack fast, then it just stays like that. I just bully everybody around. That's what the game seems like to me. And if I don't, I end up losing a lot. It goes one way or it goes the other. There's no like middle ground usually. How about starting hands? What do you like 2-pair?
2-pair to start, yes. It's always nice because it gives you much higher chance to flop that set. To set mine. And set mining is huge in Big O. Like that's one of the biggest techniques that people use is they will call any raise with any pocket pair or 2-pair in the pocket, hoping to hit a set. So normally in Hold'em, like your odds of hitting a set are like 20% by the river. You have like 12% to flop it and 8% to improve. So if you have 2 pairs, you can imagine like you just double your chance to hit a set. So you're really like close to, I wouldn't say 40%, but you're roughly 30 to 40% to hit one of those sets. If you have double pairs. So that's why people love that.
That's not going to win.
It's not my dream. My dream would be to flop like quad aces versus like, their flop set or something like that. Like that's a dream. When you flop the quads versus their full house, like that's the best hand you can possibly have.
I'd be flopping quads and there'd be 3 cards to a straight flush on the board. Not know what to do.
Like a real bad beat, like a straight flush to the nut flush. That's the worst.
Yeah.
You know what? I hit a straight flush in Big O yesterday. I was pretty happy about that. I hit like the ace through 5 for the low, and I had the straight flush. But that happens a lot. I mean, you got to always be wary of the straight flush and big O. It's just so common.
Is there a calculator out there so you can determine your what your starting hand should look like?
Yeah, I
do you
found
mean?
one.
There is
Program?
one?
Oh, what are you asking about? If you're asking about like how to determine what a good starting hand is, there's like
For big
that's just guidelines, like based on the shape of the hand and the strength of it. But if you're talking about actual equity, yes, there exist calculators that can handle 5-card Omaha. If you want to punch in a specific situation and see what odds you had on a flop versus a particular hand, you can do that. But Pro Poker
AM
Tools,
Phoenix just posted it.
Pro Poker Tools does handle Big O, so there you go. One word of
Nice,
advice
there
is
we
that
go.
when you're testing your equity against other hands, like try changing the other cards in the hand around a little bit to see how it affects things, because you never know exactly what specifically you're up against, and you're playing blind if you're just trying to put your opponent on a single specific hand. I mean, in any game, but especially in this game.
So that's how you bastards have been beating me at pokertools.com/simulation.
Or
Like I
using
said,
poker tools. No, I've never been to that site actually. I'm going to use that for my research. But yeah, the statistics on a Big O is pretty tough, man. Like, say for example, you flop like the nut low draw, you have like a 57% chance to hit that. That's why everyone bets their low. Like, if you have ace deuce and the board is like 5, 6, 8, you have absolutely the nut low. And they're just going to bet the shit out of it and just hope that you fold your high. You know, if your high is not good enough, you're probably going to fold because you don't want to get free rolled, you know, for a split pot.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like, people just bet their low like it's the high. And if you flop the nut low, I'm telling you, you're gonna get free rolled oftentimes.
Right. If we knew how to crush it, we'd be crushing it. Right.
Yeah, like 57% of the time, if they flop that nut low draw, they're gonna hit it. So they're gonna bet the hell out of it. That's how Does Do plays, at least. You know what I mean? Does Do plays like that.
Kissa, have you played it?
I've played both, and like you were saying, the high-low version, I don't lose as much, but in the high version, I get creamed. I walk in and I might as well just donate. You know,
That's how I feel. I love the high-low version because I always feel at home. It's so much easier to have a hand that has a piece of something or that has equity. But in the high version, it really screws with me trying to bluff with a hand that could be dead. And in so many situations, your hand could potentially be dead versus a specific hand, and it screws with my head. Whereas in the high-low version, I almost always have outs to something that they don't,
right.
And it's so much more clear to me. Now the situation might not actually be any different, but like mentally, it makes all the difference for me. So that's really something that has to be like overcome is a fear of the nuts. Once you have that healthy fear of the nuts, it can work against you.
People call with like stupid hands in high-low, like retarded. Like that, one of the hands I lost yesterday, the dude had like the 2-6 for the low, not even the nut low, but he ended up shoving with like a runner flush draw and hitting because he had like a low hand. He wouldn't have shoved if he didn't have the low hand. You know what I mean? He had like not even the best low hand, but he had a low hand.
Yeah, but if you know your low draw is good, then that's one thing. But yeah, you're describing a situation where he probably had no idea whether or not his low draw would be good, or he had no reason to think that it would be.
Yeah, he really shouldn't have been. He shoved with like a runner flush draw and ended up binking the high with the flush, and he scooped a low with like a 2-6 for the low. But yeah, people normally are not going to bet that spot if they're not playing high-low. So it really changes the screwiness of the game. You know what I mean? People are willing to draw. They're willing to gamble more in high-low.
And tilt is definitely much more costly in this game because it's not like in regular Hold'em or Omaha where if you suddenly start being much more aggressive because you're tilting, you're going to you'll just get creamed so fast if you start playing more aggressive than you should, or if you start seeing the second nuts in this game and thinking it looks as good as the nuts.
There isn't a player I have played against that I haven't seen tilt yet.
Exactly.
I haven't seen somebody play perfectly.
We all tilt.
Every single person tilts.
Yeah, they should call this game big. It's so tilting.
It's engineered to do that, and I think that's great because it keeps the people who are really good from having too big of an advantage, because even they can get screwed over and get frustrated.
That's true. You know, it's true, man. It's just the variance is insane, but it's so much fun because of that. Loosens people up and really changes the dynamic of poker, because normally people are going to play super, super tight most often. Here, they're going to play super loose because everyone has a draw. Everyone starts with a suited hand. In Big O, a lot of people don't think about this. You have 5 cards, which means one of those suits are going to overlap. Every person starts with a flush. Every person. So if you realize that fact, then obviously it makes it a little bit easier to win. If you obviously know everybody has a flush. Someone always has a flush, regardless.
What's funny is that playing Big O to me feels like going to war, and the people that I play against, I kind of like formed a kinship with, just because I've been there, brother.
Yep.
We've been in the trenches.
Yep. The foxhole. Yep.
Exactly.
Shit. Slanging mud.
Yeah.
It's a tough game, man. It takes a lot of character and a lot of patience to stay in this game.
Yeah,
I know so many people that are just like, fuck Big O. They just quit like right off the bat. It's terrible.
You've even seen it destroy me mentally. So
I got
it destroyed me too.
Yeah, I've been warned. I've warned myself away from it.
But I can't stay away from it either.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Book. I'll wind up reading the book, thinking I know what I'm doing, and go back in and lose a few more buy-ins. Yeah.
Kissa, you can get good at this game. Just remember, it's the game of the nuts. So whenever you enter a hand, you better have the nuts. If you're not flopping a set or the flush draw, then get the hell out of there. Someone always has a straight draw, a flush draw, or the set. Every single hand. So always make sure you have the nuts. Make sure that's you that has the nuts, not them.
Okay, in a starting hand, if I've got a set in my starting hand, do I want to play that? I know that you don't want to do that.
No. Yeah, if you have.
Wait, you mean 3 of a kind?
Don't even bother if you have 3 in your hand. A lot of hands that have pairs in the hand aren't very good either. Because flopping a set is worthless unless it's top set, or you have things to go along with it. So it's like
middle and bottom set are the easiest way to lose. If people overplay middle and bottom set like it's the nuts. It's not Hold'em. This is not Hold'em. There's been so many, like yesterday, for example, I flopped top set against a dude who had pocket aces pre-flop, but he flopped the middle set. I ended up winning over 200 chip pot just because dude flopped a set, and I was set over set.
We're not saying not to play pocket pairs. We're saying not to overvalue them and to not play hands that are just total trap hands pre-flop. Like if you have a hand like 3-4-4 QQ, that is such a trap hand because the best it can make is a set or a boat, and it's face up when it hits and it's worthless when it doesn't. That's the kind of thing.
I actually folded. I fold hand that. If I get queen 3-4 or something, I'm gonna fold that shit 90% of the time unless I'm in the big blind.
I don't like double pairs either unless they're kind of close to each other. Like 8-8, 9-9, 10. That's a fun hand to play.
But even that,
you gotta be cautious with it. Yeah,
exactly. Be super, super cautious. Even if you flop the nuts, you better just wait for them to slow play something. You know what I mean?
What do you think
they're gonna bet any good hand.
What do you think about pre-flop re-raises and re-raises in this game? Since everything runs so close together and it is so dependent on the flop, do you think it makes any kind of sense to be jacking the pot up huge pre-flop with a bunch of different things?
So the only time that you should be jacking the pot up pre-flop is if you have the nut flush draw, and if you're playing high-low, if you have ace deuce. So you should never be 3-betting and 4-betting unless you have the ace high flush draw or pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, whatever. Only super, super royalty pockets and the nut flush draws you should be 3-betting, 4-betting with. Only the nut hands. Do not ever 3-bet, 4-bet with pocket kings only, or king high flush only, or the queen high flush. Right. That's how people end up losing everything.
Yeah, but doesn't that really put you face up too when you're 3-betting? Oh, he's got a suited ace and a big pair and Broadway cards every time whenever you 3-bets.
That's where the gamble comes in. If you're a gambler, play those hands. But if you want to make money, start playing only the nuts. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Flush draws.
It sounds really silly to me to only re-raise with a very narrow set of hands, because then everyone's going to know you have those hands whenever you re-raise. So I don't understand what kind of things to re-raise in this game. I pretty much don't re-raise any hands.
Unless it's the river.
You should be calling.
I'm talking about pre-flop. I'm talking about before any.
Yeah,
flop
you're
cards
right.
come.
Yeah, pre-flop. Call. You should be calling rather than raising. It's all about pot control. So when everyone else is going crazy pre-flop because they have good cards, just get in and see the flop. If you flop the nuts, then you flop the nuts. You know what I mean?
One other situation I want to bring up too, because it's something that beginners are going to encounter a lot and not know what to do, is when you're at a table and someone else is re-raising a lot pre-flop, what the hell kind of things do you come along with? Because, I mean, that's expensive. That could be a tenth of your stack just to see a flop, you know. So what are you doing when you're at a table where everybody's making it huge pre-flop and kind of having fun with the bingo?
Yeah, if everyone's getting real crazy with the pre-flop betting, normally you just avoid it. Just fold, and wait for the action to die down, because those kind of gamblers, they're just in it to pump up these huge pots pre-flop and to shove on the flop. That's what they want. They don't really understand the game. They don't understand this is a high variance game. You really should not be raising huge pre-flop. You should really just be playing the hand as it goes.
All right, it's just a little dissonant with what you said earlier about too many people playing too tight and stuff.
What do you mean? Like everyone's playing, like people are playing too tight? When?
I heard you say something to the effect of telling people not to knit it up too much. Maybe I misheard.
Yeah.
Well, in this game,
like I heard you say something negative to the effect of playing something like 8 to 10% of your hands as that being too small. But it's hard to really like what happens when I want to play most of my hands, but everybody's making things crazy. Is it the nature of the game, and I should find different stakes and just play at lower stake? Should I just expect the game to play huge like that, or you know, is there adjustments that you're meant to make when everyone's being crazy versus when they're not? Because it seems like
when everyone's going crazy pre-flop,
the strength of your pre-flop hand is not an accurate indication of how well your hand is going to hit the flop or how easily you're going to be able to continue. Like if you it's not like in Hold'em. In Hold'em, if you sit around and wait for the top 10 hands, they always are doing great on almost any flop. Whereas in this game, if you sit around and wait for the top 10% of hands, they're going to connect with the flop almost just a slight amount more than the top 40% of hands are, you know.
I'm about to shove first hand of the fish fry.
Oh yeah, good luck on the fish fry, guys.
I'm shoving the first hand.
We got a 46 in. 46 in so far. Another 20 something minutes of late reg. Let's make it a big one. I think our biggest was 69, 72 players.
Yeah, it was pretty huge the last couple weeks.
Ooh, Lucky Ant's thinking it over. He folds. Okay.
Somebody in the Twitch.
I just won with, oh man, fuck the boat on the board. Come on, I got Ace Jack to call me with an Ace King. Damn it! I had him dead to rights, man. That was so sick.
What were you saying, Box?
Somebody asked if there's much bluffing in the game. I would say yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of bluffing.
Because if you make a bet or if you miss and you don't follow through, there's so much in the pot that you're just giving up without a fight at all that you do have to bluff, and that's one of those situations where you have to be thinking about what they have and not your own hand strength, so you can determine the likelihood of whether or not someone has something that he can fold. But you also have to think about what it looks like you might have, because if you played your hand in a way that you can never have the nuts here, then don't bluff.
Yeah, like if it's obvious that you missed flush draw, like if they know that you bet your flush every time and you missed it, they're gonna call you when you bluff on them when the flush hits. You know, when it misses. I mean, so a lot of times these guys, they have you pinned. They know your style. Like if you play with someone enough, they fucking know exactly how you play.
That's part of the.
So you have to be really careful because they will know when you're bluffing.
So often you have to play your hand in such a face-up way, and so often it's easy to put people on the types of things they have, and yet you need to create mystique and mystery somehow. But it's just as tricky to do when there's so many showdowns and so many times where you will be having to show what you have.
One thing that I do is, Yep, I'm Naked just said something about blockers. Same thing with Naked Aces. I mentioned that in the article I wrote. But I 3-bet so few times on the pre-flop that half the time it's aces, the other half, if an ace hits, I will bet it, pretending I have aces. I usually get away with that too.
Mm-hmm. Like when you have a suited rundown hand, even though you're not necessarily playing it for its flush value, since nut flushes are so much better than any other kind of flush in this game, but a lot of times it'll function as effectively a blocker if someone has that nut flush draw. That's 2 cards that you have that can't hit that will improve him above you, and it strengthens your own straight or whatever. And yeah, if you just have the single ace of the suit that the flush is on the board, you can pretty much bluff with impunity, unless you're up against someone who knows that game and who knows you can do that. Because what's the difference between just having that ace? Yeah, what's the difference between just having that ace and having 2? They can't tell. You have 5 cards.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't know if you have it suited or not. And Bonks actually was talking about that on a fish one time. The last time I was on a fish fry, he was talking about bluffing with the one nut. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the nut flush, but you have the blocker. You know, you have like the ace high in your hand, and you really don't know if they've got it or not. It's really just, you know, it's a crapshoot to know whether or not they have it. So you have to trust your opponent whether or not they're bluffing. And if you know
that the onus on them, it makes them make the tough decision. That's always what you want, I would assume.
It makes them sweat so hard, man. I love putting people in those spots where they sweat. You know, if you make someone's heart beat faster, you're doing your job. You know, you're making their heart race. They're really like, fuck, man. They're put in a bad spot. They don't want to call, but they will. With less than the nuts. So I mean, sometimes you'll get someone just trying to call your bluff right there. Other times they'll just fold because they're a wuss. Depends on who you're playing. You know, I know Doesdu's gonna fold if he doesn't have the nuts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you can bluff Doesdu like 90% of the time in that spot.
You can bluff
everyone
me too.
else, yeah, maybe glitch, but everyone else is gonna fold.
And
I just don't want to make this the pick on Doesdu show just because you mentioned Doesdu.
Yeah. Sorry, I got to stop mentioning his name because
the fact of the matter is, you can mention like 80-90% of players, and you're still describing the same guy. A lot of us make mistakes, if not all the time, definitely some of the time, because we are all still new to this game. I mean, we're one of the only sites that even spreads the shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're all new to it. I used to play Does. We used to play PLO, and back in the day, that was all that the old site had. So we played PLO like all day long. That was just our thing.
Lately, I'm finding he kicks my ass as often as I kick his.
What Doesdu's kicking your butt?
Yeah, he's improving. Everybody improves.
What is cool about
he's improving
everybody that I do bluff the naked ace all the time is that I get those calls all the time too.
Yeah, so people know that, and that's why.
So I'm not afraid to say it, or do it.
It's not so important whether or not you never bluff or always bluff. It's that you balance the two.
Yeah.
The thing is, you want them to be so confused they don't know. And if you're always betting, the thing about me in Big O is I pot bet all the time. I like to pot bet. I don't do 2/3 pot or half pot. That's too weak. If you bet the same amount every single time, it confuses your opponent. They really don't know whether you have it or not. So when you do have it, they will call you thinking you're bluffing every single time because you're just betting the same amount. So I get max value every time I have the hand. Every single fucking time I have the hand, I get max value.
In de facto, a pot
because I bet
is
the same amount every single time.
Bet, yeah.
So that's the key to Big O is you have to confuse and obliterate your opponent through their own mental action. You know, make them think that you have nothing when you have the nuts every time.
I can make them think I have something when I got nothing.
Well, there you go. Why don't you play more?
Well, they usually get called. They usually call.
Kiss, I think you would have a natural talent. You're a no limit hold'em player. I know that you're a no limit hold'em player, and it's hard to transition.
Yep, I have a real tough time with Omaha, and so I'm having
Omaha. With Omaha, you know, like your 2 pair is good. Like 2 pair is actually something that holds up. If you flop 2 pair, my best hands I've won are like where I flop 2 pair versus aces. You know, in Omaha, that's like the best to flop 2 pair versus aces because they were gonna shove like every time heads up. Aces obviously are not going to hold as much in Big O as they do in Hold'em. I mean, in PLO.
Right.
But aces get overplayed like crazy, man. Like that's where you make all your money in this game is when people overplay their aces every time.
Yeah, and that's something I'm still stuck on no limit hold'em. So I got to play my aces. I got 5 cards and 2 of them are aces. So I figure I got to.
Yep.
No.
You got the Hold'em curve.
Yeah. I don't know.
The pocket ace is trying to win.
I'll read the book, think I know what I'm doing, and go lose a couple of more lines.
My book is very interesting, man. There's a lot of topics there, so I go into everything.
Yep, I'm Naked is leading the fish fry right now. Looks like he's eliminated 7 people already.
Very good.
No, I'm joking.
Wow.
Oh.
He's got a big stack. Kisses in 4th, Catmaster in 3rd, Bad Jack's 99.
Yeah, I
second.
managed to take a bunch off of Moloch.
I want to say, I think Ruckus won last week. He's the defending champion. I don't see him in the tournament.
Don't know. I'm getting questions on chat in the Twitch Seals Clubhouse thing, and they wanted to know why I quit the Dock House team. That was it felt too much like work. It was it just got to be too much like work. I'm retired and I don't want anything regular in my life. Except for maybe my bowel movement, that's about it.
And no prune juice.
And right now I don't have to worry about prune juice, so I'm good. I go get myself a Big Mac and I'm good,
You wanted to stay regular, you said.
Yep. I do that with McDonald's. I'll do that. If I get all bound up, I just eat a Big Mac and I'm good.
Oh man. Usually it's Taco Bell, but
I love ice cream.
Yeah.
I've been eating so much ice cream, and I just happened to notice that I've been telling everybody about it.
Yeah, Bonks. What flavor right now? What flavor?
Actually, I went into the night thinking that I was going to get Ben & Jerry's strawberry cheesecake or Cherry Garcia, but I looked down and I saw the banana chunky monkey, and I was like, yeah, that looks good. So I got the banana.
So you're Ben & Jerry's kind of.
Yeah. I used to live very close to Burlington, and it's just really prevalent here. I don't know what it's like on the West Coast. I don't know if it's available.
I've been to the Ben & Jerry's factory once. Yeah, it's just premium ice cream, dude. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just really expensive, dude. If for one little tiny pint of Ben & Jerry's, it's like the same price as a giant tub of ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if I buy a giant tub of ice cream, I end up eating the whole thing in one sitting, and I don't want to do that. I prefer just the small pint. What the worst is when they're on sale for like $2.88, and I end up buying like 6 of them.
Gigaloo's out. You ran into quads.
So hey, do you want to talk about leaderboards at all?
Oh, leaderboards.
Yeah, people had a couple questions about leaderboards. Seals Clubhouse leaderboards. The first thing I want to address real quick, I saw YOLO say it. I've heard others say it. He said that the main player of the month leaderboard, people who play smaller stakes tournaments do not score as high as people who play larger stakes tournaments. That was actually exactly and utterly true. Back when the leaderboards first came out, it was related almost exclusively to the prize pool and not at all to any other parameter. And I realized that, and I said, well, that's no good. So I actually had them change the leaderboard formula about 2 months ago so that it's related to number of players in the tournament and not the prize pool necessarily all by itself. So it actually scales much nicer now to people who play smaller stakes tournaments. You're going to score a lot higher on the leaderboard if you only play micros than you would have in the past. And I also recognize that you're never going to make it to the top of the leaderboard if you only play micro stakes tournaments. It's a fact. It's just how it's going to be for player of the month. If we're evaluating everything, it's not as hard to win a 5-chip tourney as it is to win a 50-chip tourney. It's just how it is. Right. A different, tougher player pool is going to be playing the different ones. That said, I understand that, and so the way that we're awarding prizes for player of the month is that list of 50 people. It's pretty darn easy to make it onto that list of 50. And what we're going to do is we're going to randomly draw 20 of those 50 people to receive prizes. It's going to be weighted by your leaderboard score. So the guy who's in first he might have 4 times or 8 times greater a chance of winning each individual prize on the list as you do, but it's still a drawing in and of itself, so there's truly a chance for everyone who makes it to the top 50 to win some prize or another.
Ooh, cool.
Nice. Giving you guys a chance.
This month we sort of like mentioned it kind of like halfway through the month and haven't really advertised it, so we're not doing a huge prize pool this month. I'm going to throw 500 chips at it, and I'm actually going to have the guys at SWC do the drawing. Now, I have verified that the leaderboard results are correct and accurate and according to the formula and are related to all the tournaments on our site, and they haven't missed anything. And so they're going to give us that top 50 list, and SWC is going to do a drawing and go ahead and award 20 of those 50 people prizes ranging from, it's a pool of 500. I believe it's going to be from 100 chips for one person down to like 10 people are going to win 10 chips or 20 chips or something like that.
So you're saying I have a chance. I'm like number 50 or something.
Yeah, all you got to do is make the top 50. Because otherwise we're just giving more rewards to people who are most likely winning anyway, because if you make it to the top of the player of the month leaderboard, it's because you have a good month.
You mean broke neck.
Yeah, it's well,
there was one month
I can't officially say it's anti-broke neck, but it's anti-broke neck.
It's pretty much broke neck only is going to win. He's going to get like a t-shirt and a hat this month. Damn it. Oh man. I just can't wait till I get my SWC hat. You know, once they start selling hats again, I'm going to get my SWC hat. Just sitting here. I don't even wear hats, but I'll fucking wear this hat. I will wear it.
As far as the Seals Clubhouse leaderboards, other than the player of the month, there are no prizes for them this month. I'm going to talk to SWC Poker and see if they want to add any prizes for any other leaderboards, because I think the bubble leaderboard would be
aptly
deserving of prizes, because if you bubble a lot, then you could use a prize.
Who's the bubble leader boy right now? I want to know.
Goose Lee is.
Goose Lee.
By a wide margin.
Oh, damn.
Bubbled more than anyone else. That's gotta hurt. Oh my god.
It is because sit and goes are included in the bubble.
Oh man, I suck
and
at sit and
goes. He plays
goes.
a ton of sit and goes.
He does every night. I'll be the first to admit I suck at sit and goes. Don't even ask me to join one. I'll lose. Just don't even bother asking me. I'll just fucking lose it. My sit and go graph is like all negative, 100% negative.
I mean,
yeah, I refuse to look at my sit and go graph.
A lot of the tournaments here are not all that different from sit and goes. They're just like multi-table sit and goes.
Yeah, but then again, the people that are playing the average player playing these sit and goes are.
What happened?
You cut out.
Am I cutting out? Sorry. The average player is a lot better in a sit and go here. All the average players are way better.
Wow.
Than my MTT.
Side note: Glitch just doubled up in the fish fry. He was in danger of getting pegged by YOLO N-word.
I floated a flop with overs and a flush draw. I bet on the flop with nothing, but he didn't raise me large enough for me to fold. If he had raised bigger, I would have folded, but he raised the minimum, and I felt like I couldn't give it up. I feel like that a lot pre-flop, too. Like, whenever I open and someone min re-raises me, I feel compelled to call just based on the odds alone I'm getting.
Yeah.
You should. I mean, a good poker player is going to call there based on pot odds alone. You don't min. In no limit hold'em.
You're bouncing in and out here.
Am I cutting out? Or is it sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. In no limit hold'em, you should not be raising people, min raising like that, because they will call every time just based on pot odds. It's stupid to min raise somebody. Just fucking stupid. Unless you have like the nuts and you just know they're going to call. Like, do not be min raising anybody. That's just dumb. Well, you're going to get called.
If you know your opponent is good enough to put you on a hand and fold to that min raise, that's a different story. But if you're talking about someone like me, I'm not good enough to do that. Not on a
min raising is actually it's kind of like a pro technique. It's a super amateur technique, depending on who's doing it. Like I only min raise with really.
I know it always throws me off when someone does it because I'm only expecting it from a beginner. Whenever someone else does
You're
it,
like, what the
really
fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
It's a stupid move. It's a really stupid move, but it looks so amateurish. You get called every time. So if you have the best hand,
makes me feel like my hand's not good. It's the one constant.
Well, say someone raises me on the flop and I have like ace king and there's an ace or a king out there. I'm going to min raise them because I know they're not going to fold. They cannot fold. It's like they cannot. Like not. You don't fold to a min raise. That's stupid.
And here we go, right on your right.
Hot odds.
Opens under the gun with a min raise. Yeah. What?
Yeah, exactly. See, this dude, like, he's an amateur. He doesn't even have like a title. He has less than 500 krill. Like, this dude's amateur. Obviously.
You have no idea if someone's an amateur. He's just new to the site. That's all you know. He might be one of the best
So if a
poker
kid-
players in the world. He might have never played before. He might be someone who just made a new account. There's not a
You're
lot
absolutely
there's not a lot you can determine from not having a title other than exactly that, which is this guy doesn't have 500 krill yet.
Well, under the gun min raise.
There's a name for that, like Riley or something. There was some guy that used to do that all the time.
That's possibly the worst move you can make, is an under the gun min raise. Like, possibly the worst move you can do.
I like that move. So hey, we can agree.
What does he have right here? What does he have? Dude, what does he have right here? Like, what
pocket fours. He's got pocket fours.
I don't have.
He's got like Jack Deuce. He's got a Jack Deuce.
He could have Jack King at clubs. That would be great.
No, he's gonna fold this shit. Watch, he's gonna fold. You just wasted 2 min raises.
You can't speculate about people's hands during the hand, though.
Probably not live like this. No, we're not on a delay, are we?
You're on like a 30-second delay, so you can.
Oh.
Depending on what's going on, you can say certain things, but you got to be mindful. It's just however long Twitch takes.
Yeah, amateur hour.
See, and I can get by an amateur hour. I can maybe make, final table an amateur hour. But if I get into an Omaha high game where it's 5 cards in my hand, where do I donate?
Why don't you ever have intermediate hour? Where's that? I could use intermediate hour. I'm always either with the
There's no intermediate hour.
I'm with the experts or the amateurs. Yeah.
It's only amateur hour here. Every day of the hour. Every day of the year.
I mean, you say that, but people hand me my ass, so I don't think it's all amateurs.
Henry's 31st on the bubble leaderboard and first on the donor leaderboard, huh? Henry Lichat.
Henry's good people, man. I like Henry, Even though we go back and forth, I like him. He's a cool guy.
Brokeneck asked if about a fish fry leaderboard. I had a similar idea of having a portion of the site with the like a page of champions, the champions of the fish fry.
Yeah, that's a clever idea. I like that.
That would be nice.
Bracelets awarded.
Run that by Carlos, see what he can spin up for us.
Yeah.
I just like how random it is. He'll pop in and be like, "Sup? I'm going for some tequila." He'll be like, "It's a night. It's margarita night over in place."
Yeah, they came out with the WSOP schedule today. In case anybody's out there interested in going to the WSOP, there's already talking.
Are you going pro?
No, I'm not going pro. Oh my God, no.
Are you going to play any of the 1500 events?
I'd like to get out there just to play that monster that they have out there for $500 to get in. And they got like 20,000 players. A shot at $1 million.
Wait, which tournament? The Colossus?
Yeah, the Colossus.
It's like $500 to play in or some shit like that.
Yep, $560 to get in, and they usually get like 20,000 players or something.
Dude, let's play it. That's actually one of the tournaments I want to play. It's cheapest tournament at WSOP this year. But I'm gonna try to get together a little package, like a $4,000 little buy-in package, and I'm gonna summer Vegas. So
and I stayed right. It's being at the Rio this year. It's going to be at the Rio. And last year when I went to Vegas for the first time, and I stayed at the Gold Coast, which is right next door to the Rio.
Really?
Yep, you just walk right through, and it's like $200 a night to stay there on their most expensive night. It was really nice.
A night, all in.
Yep.
For $200 a night, that's pretty good accommodation. I've stayed in a place like that. They're so nice.
Walk through a parking lot to get to the Rio, and that's it.
There's a PLO Colossus. Yep, just said.
Ooh.
Shit. Maybe we should join that.
Oh yeah, I'm interested in the World Series now for the first time ever.
And then,
Man, they got an event that's like 777 to buy in, 700.
Yeah, you're cutting out
The
again.
retail
But yeah.
So I walked the whole area downtown, down at on the ground level, the lobby level. I walked the whole area. You can walk around in a big circle, and it's probably well over a mile of hallway.
Damn.
It's huge.
Damn. Better bring your
walking shoes, your comfy
yeah,
shoes.
your walking.
And it's going to be June in Vegas, so you better, bring a swimsuit.
Bring your deodorant.
We're online poker players. We don't use deodorant.
Yeah. And yep, I'm naked running around without any clothes on.
Yeah, that's actually a really good technique. Don't wear any deodorant. No one will want to sit next to you if you wear no deodorant, and they want to leave. They want to bust out as soon as they can because like this guy smells terrible. Like, don't wear deodorant. Don't brush your teeth. Don't put cologne on. Just wear dirty clothes. Look like a bum. No one will want to sit next to you.
Yep, says beers on him for whoever makes it down to Vegas this summer.
If I make it there, you're gonna regret that. Unless you're just talking about, one night.
I think he's talking about one night, dude.
Okay. If you meant the whole time.
The first night, beer is on lethal, okay? All the beers are on me.
Just buy a keg.
Dude, that's actually a really good idea. A keg is cheap. A keg is probably a lot cheaper than all the beer would be for all you guys.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I could probably get a keg for like $200, and that'll save us on bar tabs.
Yeah, Gold Coast was nice. They had TGIFs downstairs, so you could always find food 24/7.
Wait, what's Gold Coast? Is that a new casino? I haven't seen that.
It's where I found out from Dutch that it's where the regulars go to hang out when they want to get to the strip. So
that's the spot to be.
It was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. Cheap. Wasn't any poker at the Gold Coast. You had to go over to the Rio for poker, but it was cheap.
You guys want to go look for some celebrities? You guys want to go find the pro? Like, I know where some pros hang out. Hellmuth always hangs out at the Golden Nugget.
Go trolling around Vegas this summer.
Yeah, man. Go find some pros. Go find Esfandiari and go yell at them.
We'll have to bring a GoPro camera and just film everything we do and like upload it to this YouTube trolling IRL.
Right.
SWC gone crazy.
Yeah.
SWC gone wild.
Seals gone wild.
Yeah. Seals gone wild. Boobies everywhere.
Flippers everywhere.
Yeah, flippers. Naked flippers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't wait till Vegas this summer, man. I'm really excited. My girlfriend keeps pushing me. She keeps saying like, "You're gonna go," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm going."
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. We had a lot of fun. We can go ahead and continue this over in Mr. Bierman's room.
Yeah.
Beer man's room.
Got a link for you over there. Yeah, if you want to meet.
What about SWC chat?
You want to meet the stars of the show or whatever? Hop on over to Bierman's room.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Peace,
Yeah,
guys, and
I appreciate it.
it.
It was fun.